Hi, this is tkviper, and today I'm going to give you a quick hands-on look at the new iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus and hopefully help you decide which one fits you best. When they're stacked on top of each other, you can see the iPhone 5s is a bit smaller, not by much, than the iPhone 6, but the iPhone 6 Plus is a huge phone. You can see how thin these new phones are compared to the iPhone 5s. The iPhone 6 is 0.6 millimeters thinner than the iPhone 5s, and the iPhone 6 Plus is 0.4 millimeters thinner. So very thin, so it's comfortable in your hand. Side by side, you can see that the iPhone 6 Plus is just a giant phone. iPhone 6 is a bit bigger, but still able to be handled with one hand, as I will show you later in this video. The first thing you'll notice when you hold these phones is that the screen is curved, as you can see here. This will give you a much smoother experience. There are no sharp edges, so when you swipe across the screen, it just feels very smooth. Here is the notification center that you can install widgets on. On the side here, on the right side, we have the power button moved down from the top and the nano SIM card slot. On the top, there's nothing, but you can see the bulge made by the camera. On the left side, we have the volume buttons and the lock for the ringer. On the bottom, we have the speaker, lightning port, a microphone, and a headphone jack. And on the back, we have this new classy stainless steel Apple logo. The antenna bands stick out just a bit, but what protrudes the most is the camera. And next to that, we have another mic and a circular True Tone flash. And now on to the new screen sizes. Will they be too big for most people? Let's check out the 4.7 inch right here, the iPhone 6. As you can see, for me it's no problem. I can reach all the icons. So if you're under 6 feet tall and don't have large hands, this phone will still be manageable with one hand usage. If not, you can always double tap to bring everything down with the new reachability feature that iOS 8 brings. Unfortunately, the iPhone 6 does not have a landscape mode when you're at the home screen. And now let's look at the camera. We have all the same features, all the same modes, except for a new one that's called Time-lapse. First, let's take a look at the camera mode. With the new A8 chip, we can take pictures at incredible speeds, especially in burst mode. There's no lag whatsoever, so fire away to your heart's content. The two cameras remain the same in terms of megapixels, with 8 megapixels on the back camera and 1.2 on the front. But the front-facing camera has been improved to have an aperture of 2.2 instead of 2.4, which improves its performance in low-light settings. And the back camera has also been improved with a new technology called Focus Pixels, which reduces autofocus time, giving you clear and crisp images almost every time. And for the first time, the video camera will autofocus in real time, so your subject will always be in focus, clear and crisp, no matter where it is. So look at how quickly it just focuses. Now onto the new time-lapse mode. Basically, it's going to take a picture for you every few seconds and then combine it into a video. So this is great for taking like the sunset or the sunrise and see the clouds move quickly across the sky. And I'm going to give you an example of this with a video I took yesterday with my iPhone 5s, which also has this mode as long as you upgrade to iOS 8. As you can see, the clouds are moving very quickly. If you want to slow this down, you can put it into iMovie and use a slow motion view to slow it down. This is like half speed. So we can see the subjects moving around much better than at the real speed. And finally, let's check out the new 240 frames per second slow-mo camera in the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. You can also set this back to 120 frames per second if you want. Here's a video of me spinning a coin at 8 times slower than real time. You can see clearly how the coin is spinning, and at the end of its spin you can see the text and also the images on the coin very clearly. At 8 times slower than real time, you can capture mostly everything you need. Unfortunately, the lighting inside the Apple Store wasn't so great. I'm sure you'll enjoy this feature much more outdoor. Now let's jump over to the new QuickType keyboard, a predictive keyboard. It's a feature you can turn on and off by holding down the globe icon. When it's on, it's going to try to predict the words you're typing, so even before you finish a word, you can actually select them from the top menu bar there, and this will save you a lot of time, especially for those of you who don't type very fast with your thumbs. And thanks to the iPhone 6 bigger display, we have more space for extra buttons in landscape mode. On the right, we have the left and right arrows. On the left, we have the dictation and the undo button. And now let's compare the iPhone 6 to the 6 Plus. As you can see, iPhone 6 is very easily manageable with one hand. I can reach all the buttons on the top. But the iPhone 6 Plus is very hard to hold, especially if you don't have huge hands. So for most people, especially women, this is not going to be a one-hand device. You can use reachability to reach the higher icons, but for the most part, you're going to have to use two hands to operate this thing. The bad thing about having such a big phone with thin side bezels is that when you're operating it with one hand, you're going to be accidentally tapping apps open, and that can be a little bit annoying for most people. So if you don't mind using two hands with this machine, definitely get it. If you want to use this with one hand and you don't have gigantic hands, it's not going to be enjoyable, especially for typing. As you can see, with reachability, it doesn't pull the keyboard towards you, so reaching for that Q or that A is going to be quite a stretch. If you do get one, I recommend getting the Apple Care plan for 2 years that includes 2 accidental drops. I predict a lot of people replacing their screens, because you will eventually drop this if you use it with one hand. On the other hand, the iPhone 6 fits very nicely in most hands, and typing will be no problem. You can reach that W quite easily. You can type quickly. This is definitely a better device for most people. But the good thing about the 6 Plus is that you do get this landscape mode, which is quite nice, that you don't get on the iPhone 6. And also there's more room for productivity. Let's take a look at this keyboard. We have an extra column on each side of the keyboard. Comparing the two phones, you can see the iPhone 6 is missing the cut, copy, paste, and bold button, which are very useful. And the bigger iPhone 6 Plus gives you a 2-pane view when you're in landscape mode. The left pane gives you a list view of your emails. The right side is the detail view that gives you the content of a selected email. This will save you a lot of time when you're going through a lot of information. In portrait mode, you have to swipe left and right to switch between views. And this works across a lot of applications, especially the ones built into the iPhone. As you can see, the settings menu also has 2 panes. I think with this feature, a lot of people will be replacing their iPad mini with the iPhone 6 Plus. And finally, the only thing that's missing on the iPhone 6 is OIS, Optical Image Stabilization. As you can see, I'm taking a picture with the iPhone 6 Plus while I'm shaking my hand, and the pictures come up very clear because there is a mechanism in your camera that shifts left and right as you're moving your hand to balance out the shakiness. On the iPhone 6 here, as you can see, when I take the pictures, sometimes they come out pretty blurry like this. So that's another reason you should consider the iPhone 6 Plus. Comparing the two photos, you'll notice the one taken by the 6 Plus is much clearer, and this is true especially in low light settings. And last but not least, how do these phones look up against your face? Are you okay being seen talking into what looks like a giant brick, or do you prefer a smaller device like the iPhone 6? Here are some pictures to give you an idea. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe, check out my 2 channels, tkviper and tkviper tech, and tell your friends about them, and visit me at tkviper.com, and I will catch you guys in the next one.